Yes, welcome back to Meet the HR show. And right here we have MC Abel, who has been an MC for 19 years. And we want to get to know more about his MCing journey. What are some of the misconceptions that are there about being an MC? Are they true? So welcome back, MC Abel.
Thank you for having me again.
So tell us, what are some of the misconceptions that are there about being an MC? And can you confirm them if they're true? Or just...
all right.
Say.
Let me see. Number one, I think people think if you're a good storyteller, you can host an event, you can be the MC. Yeah. So in circles where people just telling stories, somebody's hired.
Yes.
And then they think this guy can kill it or host us. Other thing is we have thought that as long as somebody gets on stage, he can do that work. So you get like professional speakers, the motivational speakers, also local gigs, because they can maneuver the art. And sometimes they drop the ball. And also, there's the idea that it's not supposed to be paid for.
Like you're enjoying what you're doing, so just do it.
Just do it. Or you get into conversations where, you know, my uncle, kuna uncle yangu anaweza fanya kitu, you know, and he has been doing it. And so the event space keeps on changing with time. And even right now, I think people believe if you're a content creator, you can host an event. And those are among the things. Of course, there's some who are doing a very good job at it, because maybe the question they ask, they'll come, they'll DM or something, get somebody who knows how to do it, and ask a little bit of these questions here and there, and then they get it right, or actually hack it. I think just to mention, just are the few ones that I think come to the top of mind right now. And so we decided together with Dr. Fanike maybe to give us a little bit of guidance in a small book where maybe it also helps the people who are in that space to have some crash course on it before you get on stage and actually get to understand that what you might be playing with puts food on somebody else's table. And it's a serious gig. Don't just take it as jokes up with you unafanya. Okay, so tell us more about the book. The book? So this is the book. So it's a guidance. It is actually a guidance into that world. It being my first or our first book that we did. It's a guidance because, again, we are growing into a space where we might not have the same energy to do what these kids are doing right now. They're amazing kids coming up. I mean, if you check on the social media spaces, they are doing an amazing job. And unfortunately, I think what we think is right, just to go and pick somebody from anywhere. And even myself, what I've put out there as the art is the good side of the whole thing, which is not usually it. So we lie, and like I'll give you an example, for weddings, most videos that you'll find are dance or some jokes with Skuma Wiki or something, there's something. But you see, if you go and check on the need or the idea behind what people are doing, it's very different. The shoe game, people are doing it so much, it's from where people need to know each other. Do people really know each other? It's fun, of course, it breaks ice, but the idea behind it was, do you really know each other? You understand? Yes. And also, there are jokes which are not really palatable to everyone. I'll tell you, for example, I was chanced yesterday to be in a wedding, among a people who had stayed together for 10 years, already have kids. So there are things you can't talk about. There are things you can't say. You can't say in such a space. So if you're not sensitive, you'll stick to your script and then mess up and get people really annoyed. And people don't know all this. These are the things that just walk into it. And also there are bits about costing that people don't know. If I'm a startup, if I'm starting, that is, of course I won't charge like somebody who's stayed in it for long. And
but again, you don't get 500 shillings.
The value adds. There are little things here and there that value adds that you give to a client, and you can't give them if you do not know them. Right?
True.
So we have discussions about program. We have discussions. Sometimes we turn into consultants because now those are the value adds. Somebody wants service providers more to what they do already have, and it's a whole maze. Actually, it's a bouquet of things that people do, and people think that, hey, wake up, put on a suit and a tie, get on stage and do it. Yet some people have to rehearse. So for people who are really professional right now in this time and age, the people who charge per hour, and they are paid
good money per hour.
No, I won't mention them, but the thing is, we having had conversations with them. I think there are hosts here in Kenya who charge $10,000 for a whole day. Yes.
$10,000.
That's 1 million.
Not even Kenyan money.
Yes, that's
guys. For this one to become MCs, and you're saying that there's no money here. Okay, he started off with 500 shillings, but right now I'm sure that's not the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah, right now he has the know-how, how to maneuver, the industry, and he's in a good place. So at every home. Make sure you listen to more of this because it's getting interesting.
Yeah. So those are the people who you have conversations with. You are shocked that they can get the same you're the same field, but cut for different things.
Wow.
So when you get to get the book, you'll actually realize that they're moderators, which is exactly what you're doing.
This is moderation.
This is moderation in my book. This is moderation, and actually it gets more moderative if we had more people who, let's say we were arguing and there was such a banter. So you moderate, like, hey guys, this is the tone. Come on, let's calm down.
Yeah, this is how.
And then there's now that the MC who will come on stage, ladies and gentlemen, this is the tempo, this is the order of the day, next on stage. And then they're hype men. These people still coming back on stage. You're just coming to make sure that we are Humpty Dumpty going up and down on that place. And then, so to all that, people think it's the same thing, and it's not.
Wow.
I can't make people dance like Gouda can, or MC Kelly or Ola. I can't do that. And that's them. If you ask Gouda to MC, he'll tell you, no, I can only hype. That's the difference. You get.
So you can be an MC and there can be different persons.
Yeah. And exactly. And we go on. Then there are type of events in that book. So people really trying to turn towards the corporate events, and they think it's as easy as putting on a suit and going on stage. It's different. It's about language. It's about actually demeanor. Sometimes they want a professional who has an idea of that field, and people think it's corporate, now we're going. And it's not about suits, by the way. There are corporates which do their events in polo t-shirts.
Smart casual.
So my question has always been, what makes an event a corporate event? Is it the host, or is it the client? Or is it the type of event? Question to answer another day.
Yes.
So it goes.
There's more in the book.
Yeah, people go the matters branding and what have you, and you really get confused about it. We really do get confused about it because now if you have those aspects of a wedding, which is under social events, or a birthday, you see the tempos and ideas and anything that happens inside, very different, extremely different. Very different.
Even for the social event.
They're very different. If you find me in a wedding setting, it's totally different. This is Mr. and Mrs. One of my biggest platform was concerts. I still do concerts up to date. I love concerts. They are big. You're dealing with 10,000 people, 8,000 people.
Big numbers.
Believe me, by the grace of God, I can really rock a concert.
Wow.
To date, I can. And that's my forte. Does that mean I'm a concert MC? No. I have done quite a number of corporate events, which I still have the grace to be in that space because this taken time to learn what to do. So once somebody wakes up and calls themselves a corporate MC, then I wonder, what is it? So if I tag myself or draw myself down to a particular niche, it limits me from exploring other fields. And so for the two of us to just come and sit down and get a book down, it's because I think we have traversed through quite a number of the fields, yet to explore more. And considering that it's time now to also teach, because I was not taught. I was just led by a wonderful lady called Caroline Momanyi, picks me up, puts me on stage during 2007, and it was a peace concert, and then she tells me, this is what you don't do, this is what you do. So ideally, that's it. It's a big, as I call it, bouquet of things that people really need to be keen about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really insightful, guys. I hope you're taking down some notes on some of the things that we're talking about here. So, would you give us a summary of what makes a good MC?
It's been a hard one. I've been thinking about it. So everywhere I go, everybody asks me that, and I think every time my thought process changes, so you'll allow me if I'll change again about it, because I learn something new every morning or rather every day.
True.
So being a good MC is one who gets the brief right. He really gets the brief right. So this is what you're going to do, this is what we need you to do, and you get the brief right. Number two, I think if you can read the room so fast, it makes you change your script. As I've said, there are places where the jokes that we did for 1965 to date can't apply.
You can use
and if you're in a professional setting, now even worse. And so reading the room is very important. Number three, and I think which I really lean on, and this is a personal one, I think for every person who's in the creative space needs to have a spiritual anchoring. That's my strongest belief. It comes with some dark side and weird knowledge, and there are lots of solo moments that really needs you anchored. So spirituality, for one, is very important. So what else? Teachable.
Be teachable.
Be teachable. And last but not least, be very professional. And professionalism comes from meeting people who are doing it before you, like mentors or people who you look up to. They don't necessarily need to be tagging you everywhere. And so being professional is very good. This is to say, we sign contracts, we keep to our contracts, we appear in time, we show up well dressed, we talk that language that is needed to be talked at that space. If we can't, let's hire people. I know when you're starting it's very hard, but consulting from people who have gone the journey, I don't think if it'll cost them a fee, but freely given, freely shall give. I mean, will given to us, we shall give it out. So reach out for these ideas before you try and venture into it, because sometimes it's quite frustrating if you have to wait and hope things will work without you working them.
You have to put in the work for them to work out.
Exactly.
And what are some of the challenges that you've gone through as an MC?
Challenges. I've been duped out of my money. I've been lied to.
Wow.
By even very close people. Some of those are the challenges. It's basic business. I mean, normal business challenges. I've been lied to. I've never signed a contract. So duped money, lied to about the idea. So you get in, you're told it's 2-hour thing, and right now I've known that it can never be 2 hours.
It's never 2 hours.
Never 2 hours. It's more than 2 hours. What else? I have failed some particular people. I've decided not to listen to them. So I have the challenge of having to relearn how to listen to the brief. I'll tell you, it's interesting that in the Chinese culture, and I learned it the hard way. They introduce the first person to speak is the guest, not the host.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the guest speaks first, then the host later.
Yeah.
And you had to learn that the hard way.
Because I went with my know-how, and then the CEO came and did it how it's supposed to be done according to their culture. So some of the challenges, those cultural challenges that I had to face. What else have I ever faced? Trying to force myself into spaces that I know I can't, but simply because I needed the money, I walk into that space and then I really regret it because I go in and realize I am zero. People lie to you that, I don't know, they're AIs and what have you, but AIs don't work. They're just a tool to help us work. So no matter how much I Google or YouTube, I can't YouTube, what is it called? A professional setting of a medical thing for 30 minutes into the thing. I will not get it. I will never get it. So I've forced myself into spaces which I go and come out really disappointed in myself, and even the client sometimes is. So very bad reviews. So those are my personal challenges, and I believe some other people will have their own, and expectations which were not discussed before.
Well, guys, you've heard it from Mcee Abel. That is a really, really interesting story. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I know you want this to continue and keep going because there's a lot we have not touched on, but can you give advice to someone who wants to become an MC, an upcoming MC, one who is still trying to get into the field, or one who is thinking about it, using that camera right there?
My advice would be to anyone who's trying to get into this field, apart from researching, stay teachable. Just stay teachable.
Wow.
Stay learning, stay teachable, and you'll grow.
Okay, there we have it, guys. You've heard it from Mcee Abel himself. So that marks the end of today's show. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you're gonna implement it. And if you want to be an MC, don't let people deter you. Keep on following, keep on chasing your passions, and it will all work out for you in the end. So my name is Sylvia Wanja, and this has been Meet the HR with Mcee Abel. I hope to see you guys next week, same place, same time, only on NBCI TV. And remember, here at Meet the HR show, we say there is no luck in career, but it's when opportunity meets preparation. Bye.